Namaste and very hearty welcome to all of you to this high intensity Thursday Satsang. We are in the life lesson series. Today is the lesson number 11 and the last in this series. This series of high intensity Thursday Satsang we started for a particular reason is to gain that intensity in the sadhana. See, the lukewarm approach does not help much. So, when the intensity comes in the sadhana, the breakthrough is possible. Otherwise, breakthrough is not possible. So, that intensity has to come, and for that, a lot of attitudinal corrections are necessary on the part of the seeker. So, many seekers take spiritual sadhana for granted. That if I do this mantra jap, if I do this stotram chanting, I will get the breakthrough. See, anything and everything that we do under the sun will have some energetic effect. No denial of that. But if you are looking for the real breakthrough, then you have to change your approach. See, today there is no dearth of information. So many TV channels, so many YouTube channels, so much of information is available. The technology has made the things easy to reach out to the people. But then why is that the breakthroughs very, very rare even today? With all the advancement of technology, why the breakthroughs are so rare? The reason is seeker has to do lots of attitudinal corrections. And one of the attitudinal correction that we need to do is integrity. What does it mean? The congruency in thoughts, words, and deeds. It's really a difficult job. It's a big challenge to the human mind. But if we start looking at it, if we start working on it slowly, we can go towards the 100%. If you fall down, it's okay. Once again, catch it up. Slowly, try to improve your quotient, your number, how close you can go to 100%. Okay. This one simple technique can bring about a big breakthrough in your spiritual domain. You know why? Because you will need to be all the time aware. What are you thinking? What are you talking? What are you talking? What are you doing? Because what you are doing is seen by everybody. What you are talking is also heard by everybody. But what you are thinking is only you know. And that too if you are witnessing, not otherwise. If you are not witnessing, you may not even know what you are thinking because most of the people are thinking unconsciously. And that's why the transformation does not happen. So the very first thing that we need for the transformation to happen is to become conscious of our thinking by being in witness mode, by being sakshi. And that is the beginning of your journey. Otherwise, these unconscious habit patterns will not change. See, right now, today in one of the group, I posted the horoscope of recent times. A couple of days back, sun transited to Sagittarius sign. So Sagittarian sign is considered as the Agni Tattva Rasi, fire element. And the Mars is already there in Sagittarius and the sun entered a couple of days back. So Mars and sun both are in Sagittarius, which is a too much of fire element. The sign itself is fiery and two fiery elements in the fiery sign, which means what? Too much of fire. Now the degree difference between the Mars and Sun is more, but you see January 5th to January 15th, the degree difference will be less than 1 degree. So the increase in fire on the planet Earth will be too much. People will become more short-tempered during this time. You know, loss of control on the head will be very much there. Anger bouts at personal levels. Relationships damages will be maximum 5th January to 15th January. So if you become angry, the relationship will be spoiled. People can separate because of misbehavior. And these planetary energies are such that if you do not know, if you do not become aware, if you are not aware of your thoughts, unconsciously you are speaking out something, it can really damage the relationships. So danger is really great, and that's why we need to have some very fundamental understanding of life. That's the whole purpose of high intensity Thursday Satsang. See, only three types of problems are there. Majority of the people are facing. Number one, health related issues. Number two, wealth related issues, income, money related. Number three, relationship related. Health wise, medical services are available most of the places. People are more comfortable these days. Money wise also, most of the people who are having the job, business, earning, they are comfortable. Not an issue, unless otherwise extremely poor people who are hand to mouth. Yeah, but today opportunities are many because of the technology. So whosoever is willing to learn, earning should not be a problem. But with all the technological development and resources available and all that thing, relationship area still remains elusive. Most educated, very affluent people also mess up their personal life. Relationships is really an extremely tricky area of life. And if there are karmic entanglements, it becomes all the more trickier. So even the educated, intelligent people don't have solution to these issues and they mess up their personal life. Okay, so 2026, I have decided to give some very fundamental training, what we call it as a loving assertive communication. Okay, so the new classes will start in January on the subject, which is titled as loving assertive communication. Okay, where very fundamentals of non-violent communication will be discussing. How do we change our thought patterns so that whatever comes out from the mouth is non-violent in nature? We will also understand how to process the emotions, because violent emotions which are there within us, they change the tone of our talking, and the violence is reflected in our tonal quality in the communication. Lot of research, scientific research is going on into these things. So we will also learn another subject called how to process the emotions, so that you are not falling prey to your emotions and spoiling your voice tone in communication, which actually irritates other people and disturbs our relationships. So lots of fundamentals of communications, fundamentals of voice quality, body language, and lot more on vibrational communications. See, if you are thinking in a certain manner, your vibrations do influence the people around you. And let me tell you, I'm extremely sensitive. Even in the train, if I'm sitting and person next to me is thinking violent thoughts, I feel extremely irritated because I pick up the thoughts, I pick up the vibes. So I keep away from those people who are judgmental, critical, because I pick up the vibes immediately. I know what's happening. Now, this kind of sensitivity lots of people have. Okay? This is all the part of vibrational communication. See, all the knowledge that I got So many subjects, you see, not only one subject. Kriya Yoga came to me in July 2000 through vibrational communication with Mahavatar Babaji. He was in a Divya Day, golden body. Okay. It's all vibrational communication. In December 2016, Prem mark knowledge came. Lots of details we shared last 2-3 months. All vibrational communication. Then Kashmir Shaivism, entire subject came to me through vibrational communication with Lakshmanju Maharaj. Entire Kashmir Shaivism happened to me just like that. Understand? Afterward, of course, the books are there. But understanding happened vibrationally. And one more rarest of rare subject on which the books are also not available. That is Pashupat Shaivism. That also came to me full knowledge. Even the sutras, the understanding of the sutras just came vibrationally. So in January, I will also teach what is known as the vibrational communication. Lots of experience. Last 30 years, I am continuously into this vibrational communication. For vibrational communication, this integrity, congruency in thoughts, words, and deeds is a very important thing. Without that, you cannot get into vibrational communication. That is the main point. If you are unaware of your thoughts, you are passing on the wrong signals to the existence. See, whatever you are thinking is known by people like me, if you are nearby, sometimes even online. But existence notices everything. So whatever we are thinking is kind of a transmitted to the existential channels. And anybody who is tuned to you can pick up your thoughts. That's exactly how the telepathy functions. If somebody is nearby, picking up the vibrations is extremely easy. Now, vibrationally, somebody is violent, having negative emotions, having wrong attitudes of judgment, criticism, complaining. Okay? All that reflects into your vibrations. Even if not spoken, it is there in your vibrations. Let me share a very interesting real life story of this vibrational communication. There was in Mulund, Bhandup, somewhere in between Mulund, Bhandup, Mulund area, there was one Mr. Soni who was working as an inspector in income tax department. And that gentleman, somehow his pineal gland was activated and he was expert in vibrational communication. So I came to know through a friend about him and we approached him. We went there and wanted to know how exactly he does that. So he will get into the mood, meditative mood, and start becoming silent. And then he will smell. Just through the smell, he'll pick up the vibrations. It's called smelling the vibrations. And then he knows everything, all your vibrations, and he tells you the entire life story. He knows everything about. And he told me everything about me, and it was 100% true. A very genuine vibrational communication expert, which he got this talent without doing anything. Because he was a seeker doing sadhana. But he said it just opened up one day. And then he developed a brain tumor. And he had to go for the operation. And he was so worried that if the operation happens, probably this ability will go away. But luckily, even after operation, his ability remained until he left his body. He is no more in the world. But I personally met him. He was a great expert in vibrational communication. So sometimes luck by chance, you're doing something good, or maybe because of your past life spiritual practices. your pineal gland gets activated, and we automatically start understanding the vibrations around us. Okay, so vibrational communication happens. Let me tell you, many animals understand vibrational communication much better than we understand. Typically, yeah, dogs and cats are extremely good at vibrational communication. And crows also understand the vibrational communication. Of course, all the birds and animals understand. Cows understand vibrational communication, but some understand more, some understand less. So, crows, cows, cats, dogs understand vibrational communication much better. But all the animals understand this. Do you know even mosquito understands vibrational communication? You can try it out. If the mosquito is sitting on your hand, and if you think of killing it, okay, mosquito will read your mind that you are thinking of killing it, and the moment you raise your hand, it will run away. It will fly away. Why? It has picked up your vibration of killing. See, it may be sitting there for a few seconds, and you are not thinking about it. It will be happily sitting there. The moment you think of killing it, okay, it's so smart, it picks up your vibration even before you think and flies away. So mosquitoes understand vibrational communication, thoughts. And this is true, you can try it out. I have tried many times. Birds, animals, okay. Actually, vibrational communication is the universal communication in existence. It's there in nature. Nature communicates to us through vibrations only. Human beings, because of the overdeveloped mind and too much of educational conditionings, social conditionings, we have lost that capacity. Villagers understand vibrational communication better. Okay. Those who are less educated, those who are more simple, humble, they understand vibrational communication better. Okay. So, lots of interesting things coming in. All this for what? For this high intensity, to gain that high intensity. And that is the main thing. Okay. There are a few questions. I'll answer that and then we enter the subject. Vijendra Bhausar, okay, Andrea, Kiran Savant. In fact, new technology damaging relations. Yes, for sure. Technological advantage is there, but most of the human beings don't know how to take advantage because of non-clarity. For example, Guruji, if one is practicing awareness and operating with clarity, this increased fire could be used in our favor. For sure. Because Guru Drashti is there, so all the spiritual seekers will be able to convert the fire into the Gyan Agni through spiritual practices. Extremely powerful time for us to evolve spiritually. Krishna Patel is asking, dear Guruji, please explain the aspect of assertive in loving assertive communication. Will you explain how to lovingly say something that the other person may not want to hear? For example, saying no or disagreeing or standing up for dharma. Yes, that needs a lot of training, Krishna Patel. That's why the classes will be there. It's not an easy task, but I can tell you the hint. See, before the words come out from the mouth, there's a lot of churning and thinking going on in your mind of which you are not aware. You become aware when you speak something, and others also become aware when you speak something. The idea is to increase the awareness to such an extent that You become aware of the thoughts even before they happen in your mind. So you can catch the thoughts, and you need to learn to filter out the thoughts. When a trigger means anybody says something, that's a trigger. There may be 10, 20 thoughts in your mind. If you are aware, out of those 20 thoughts, you will filter out the negative thoughts. So you will not react. You will choose consciously to respond in a right manner, and that needs lots of awareness. And let me tell you, the major portion of the vibrational communication is to keep quiet. In the silence only you can explore the thoughts. But you see, when the heat of the emotions is there, people are getting angry, irritated, and they start reacting. Then the exploration is not there, awareness is not there, and that is what is damaging the communication. Those negative emotions bring in the violence in communication. Okay. That's why we need to learn non-violent communication. It's a big subject. People have done a lot of research on this. It's a proper communication training that is required to learn that. It takes few days, few weeks, few months sometimes. So you normally, I'll explain, you ask what is the assertiveness in the loving assertiveness. Okay. There are three types of behaviors, basically. There are many others. Submissive behavior, assertive behavior, aggressive behavior. So neither you be submissive nor be aggressive, in between. That is assertive. Only assertiveness does not work. Lovingly assertive works better. That is closer to the non-violent communication. When we say ahimsa, non-violent, okay, you are avoiding the violence. But according to me, that's not enough. Non-violent communication is not enough. Avoiding violence is good. But what is even more better than this is adding the love to that. So lovingly assertive communication is far more superior to non-violent communication. Of course, it will be the passing phase. Right now, most of the people on the planet Earth are doing violent communication. You see, everybody, the negative emotions, the irritation, the anger reflects so much into the vocal form of people. Even the most trained people also. Irritations can be felt in the voice tone of the person. It's happening all around. Become aware of it. So everywhere there is so much of violence in the communication. The first thing is through awareness, by exploring the gap, by responding properly, taking your time, you have to learn to first get into what is known as the non-violent communication. Once you have developed that kind of an awareness, okay, where your irritations, anger, criticism, complaining is all the time there. Let me tell you, the most evolved people I'm seeing, they also get trapped into these things. Everybody, all of us. It's not about any single person. All of us, we get into that occasionally, when you are emotionally excited, when the negative emotions are excited by the trigger coming from the outside. It's quite normal. And there's no criticism of that. We are all human beings. It does happen. But do we recognize that? That is where the whole journey starts. Recognizing, becoming aware of it. Once you become aware of it and you learn the technique of how to filter out the violence from your communication, which is there. I'm talking about a normal person. See, somebody is in army, somebody is in police department. You have to be very strict in your communication. Well, that's part of the duty. I'm not talking about that. Normal, common human being. Say, father talking to the son, irrespective of your duty. Okay? So, in the family relationships and all, what kind of communication should be there? There, violence should not be there. But you see, the majority of the negative emotions we throw onto our loved ones. This is scientifically proven. Majority of negative emotions we throw onto our loved ones. Garbage throwing, vomiting. Because you need somebody to vomit out because you are feeling uneasy. And you are vomiting onto your loved ones. This is what everybody is doing. See, everybody is in an unconscious manner kind of a image building. When we are with a group of people, when we are with the guests, everybody talks nicely because we have been trained. That is a social conditioning. In fact, that's called image building. Everybody wants to be seen as a good person in the eyes of others, people around. So everybody is behaving in a certain manner. But the real test of your communication is when you are alone or you are with the loved one and you have that urge to vomit out garbage. How you are vomiting on your loved ones. That is where the maximum violence communication happens. The one whom you learn can hurt you the deepest. That is the natural law. Third party cannot hurt you that badly. So, how does that hurt feeling come? It comes through violent communication. So, if we want to avoid that thing and improve the relationship, we must learn non-violent communication. But avoiding violence is one thing, and adding loving assertiveness is another thing. Okay. So we have to go one step ahead of non-violent communication, and that is what is known as the loving assertive communication. So if everybody practices that, all relationship issues will disappear. 100% guaranteed. This is the knowledge that I received from Babaji through vibrational communication. Okay. I'm going to teach a lot more. Let me tell you, anywhere in the world, you can Google it. This is a new subject. It just happened to me through Babaji's loving communication that happened. It's not there on the internet anywhere. People are talking about non-violent communication, but nobody is talking about lovingly assertive communication. Okay, so this new knowledge is what will be coming into the class format. It will be online classes, and January we will begin because the most trickiest issue of life are related to relationships. As I told you, even educated people, affluent people, intelligent people, almost everybody is messing up the relationship aspect, especially the personal relationships. And that is where this lovingly assertive communication will play a very big role. And right now, one thing in this session only, you can become aware. See, how do you communicate with people around in the office, when people are there in the group, when the guests are there at home? Okay, become aware of it. And then become aware of it. How do you communicate with your loved ones when you are alone? What is the kind of communication? What is the content of communication? What are the emotions coming out? At least become aware of how you vomit out onto your loved ones. This much awareness, if you have, probably you will learn a lot in the classes. But developing this awareness takes time. So start doing it. All of you understood this thing? See, subconsciously, everybody is doing one thing, what we call it as image building. We are all in the process of image building through our communication. So in front of people, in front of groups, in front of guests, we communicate nicely because Unconsciously, we want our image to be good in the eyes of others. Always so. So there you are aware. When you are doing public speaking, when you are talking to groups or your office communication, you are aware. But what happens when you are privately communicating to your loved ones? Now that is where that word integrity with which we started, that comes into picture. That is where that violence comes into picture, and that's why the non-violent communication has to be learned. A very, very deep science of unconscious mind. This is not even subconscious. This is all unconsciously ingrained into your mind. See, that's why this complaining, accusing, all that nonsense comes out in the communication, and that damages for sure 100%. It damages the relationships. Okay. So, number one thing is to learn to keep silent when the negative thoughts are there, negative emotions are there. Just become aware and keep silent. What will happen? At least you will not damage the relationships, or you will not vomit those ugly things from your mouth onto your loved ones. We don't do it in public, right? We don't do it with the guests. We do it with the loved ones only. And that is the challenge of communication. That's where the integrity comes into picture. The image building versus the reality. So silence plays a very big role. When the negative emotions are there, when the negative thoughts are there, you feel like shouting, you feel like complaining, you feel like criticizing, you feel like accusing. That is the time. Practice the power of silence. Why? If you can keep quiet and if you are not vomiting out your negative emotions onto the others, you will save your relationship. See, what I'm telling you is very timely. From 5th January to 15th January, the divorce rate will increase exponentially because of this thing only. Planetary positions. That's why I posted it today. You see, in 10 days' time, the divorce rate will be much higher. All the data will be available. We'll cross check it next time. Let the time pass through, because I have seen many such pockets of planetary positions are there where suddenly the divorce rate increases. And I'm not talking about just husband-wife divorce. You see, divorce in the relationship, any relationship, because of the fire, because of the anger, the relationship damage will be maximum. Okay, so let's be very careful about it. Usha's iPhone says, noticing tone changes when the words are spoken, which are emotionally charged. Yes. So once you become aware of it, then the next level will be how to control your voice tone and not to allow those irritating negative emotions to influence. There's a lot more training there required. See, many people who have an extremely negative voice tone and very negative facial expressions, which show the irritation, there the irritation jumps to the other person instantly, damages the relationship, big way. So facial expression and voice tone, two areas, a lot of awareness is required. Okay, Monica Verma says, Guruji, if our close family member is in a very, very high ego that's affecting us and we can't manage the situation, and that pulls our PF down, is keeping quiet completely okay in such cases? See, these are the trickiest thing, as I told you. The most intelligent, learned, powerful people, affluent people, okay, educated people, they face relationship issues. This is typical relationship issue that you have described, Monica. Silence is not the only solution. That's why I'm going very deep into this subject. See, there is a history behind the whole thing, and I want you to tell to all of you today. Past 20 years, I have been rigorously doing Akashic records reading, and more than 12,000 plus people's records I have in my library. On my table right now, 50 people's records are lying in my office. Today only I was trying to clear up the office table. Almost 50 Akashic records, 25 pages each, lying on my table, which I have done recently, last 1 or 2 months. So 12,000 plus people's Akashic record reading, knowing their life and relationship inside out. And I don't even tell 5% in my Akashic record reading, but that much I know about the person, because Akashic records is a very big thing. Tells me everything about the person. So I know what's happening with the people. Okay. How much non-congruence is there in people's thoughts, words, and deeds? I know for sure. I can make out vibrationally also. By the way, let me tell you, many of you are new. More than 10,000 Akashic records I did vibrationally only. Only recently that I wanted to teach people how to do that, I entered into the serious astrological calculations and taught people how to do it astrologically, which is more of a logical stuff. All along, all these years, I had been doing it directly, vibrationally only, and I still continue to do. Vibrationally plus astrologically, both gives much better result. So relationship issues are everywhere. Most intelligent, most educated, most affluent people are also suffering in personal relationship. This is a database sentence. I'm not telling out of my feelings. I'm telling you based on my 12,000 plus Akashic records reading. Understand this. So I'm very serious about this research. 2 decades have gone, my dear friends. So, Monica, you are asking, is keeping silence the solution? You keeping silent is only one part of the story. The other part also has to learn. हिंदी में बोलते हैं ताली मारने के लिए 2 हाथ चाहिए. You need 2 hands to clap. Relationships are also like that. 2 persons. One person improving or remaining silent does not work. The other person will go on vomiting. Then you run away. When you run away, that's called divorce. No? Do you know? The legal divorce is one thing, and small emotional divorces are almost daily, 8 to 10 times in a day. Psychologically closing off, cutting off, or just going away from the irritating person. That's also kind of an emotional divorce. Do you know that? Because the violence is there, and people are unconsciously doing violent communication. Unless we all learn non-violent communication, loving assertive communication, there is no solution to this issue. That's why huge efforts, big way I'll be teaching these things, okay, 2026. And processing the emotions, that is another big thing. See, because the emotions are there, the emotional choke-ups are there. And the feminine people have more choke-ups than the masculine people. Feminine people get more troubled because of the emotions. And when the emotional choke-ups are there, the outbursts are there. Okay, the volcanic eruptions of negativity are there. That damages the relationships. So what is the answer to that? The answer to that is how to learn to process the emotions. Okay, that's a very big topic, another big topic. So learning to process the emotions is the way and the solution to our emotional choke-ups and the outbursts which are there, which damage the relationships. So regularly, if you are practicing integrity, means what? Congruency in thoughts, words, and deeds, which means you are aware of your thoughts, what you are talking, what is your vocal tone, what are your facial expressions, all that. Okay. Once you learn that, and you also know how to process your emotions, only then you can be happy in your personal relationships. Otherwise, let me tell you, 99.99% are suffering in personal relationships. Rarely somebody will say, I'm happy in my life. Rare, extremely rare. Because the very fundamental, there's so much of violence in our thoughts. So we need to learn a lot. Only then we become human. It's all part of spiritual journey. But we are not talking about nonsensical philosophy, talking high things and all. No. Down to earth practical things. See, how can one be emotionally or spiritually aware when there is so much of violence in our communication? See, just by listening to us, if somebody is getting irritated, that's 100% proof that there is so much of violence in your communication, which is irritating others. Even one-on-one communication. It's true. Okay. And there is a third topic which is almost ready now. That is energy vampires. When the negativity is extremely high, person has all the negative patterns, criticizing, condemning, complaining, accusing, judgmental attitudes, all that. Okay. Then the person becomes the energy vampire. And I have worked out the 6 types of energy vampires which are there and how to tackle them, or how to counsel the energy vampires and bring them to a normal level through healing. So, how to heal the energy vampires? That is another deeper topic, because there is extreme violence with the energy vampire. 6 types of energy vampire. They use all this. They have a lot of these self-sabotaging patterns, negative patterns, and they become energy vampires. All these people are there around. Okay. And that is the misery of life. The troubles of life are because of these things only. One has to be really honest to understand this thing. See, your socially conditioned mind may not allow you to listen to what I'm telling you. But if you are really honest, ruthlessly honest within yourself, if you are, you will understand the truth of what I'm telling you. And that is called integrity. The fact is, everybody is facing these issues. Everybody. So, Monica, keeping quiet is not the solution. Learning is the solution. Learning what? Learning nonviolent communication, learning to use your vocal tone, facial expressions, and words properly, learning to process your emotions properly, learning to bring in loving attention into the communication. And this, one sided, will still not solve the problem, because relationship is mutual. Both the parties have to learn. Any one learning is not the option. Both the parties have to learn, because the relationship between two persons, not one person. All karmic entanglements are between two souls only, no? That's why the whole issue is there. One-sided, no. No, one-sided, some peacekeeping kind of a thing possible. So if you keep quiet, then the flare-up will be less, or you process your emotions so you don't get choked up. But it will keep on happening. If you have to stay together, both have to learn. Otherwise, divorce between 5th January to 15th January, you will see lots of people who are on the borderline, they will divorce. I'm serious about it. I'm not. This is the database decision making, my dear friends. I'm telling you. I don't make such sentences unconsciously. I'm telling you, it's a very serious issue. We are not joking. It's not kidding. It's a very, very serious issue. Beginning of 2026, the very first month, January, will show us, and you can see the whole world's data. I have a way to check. I keep on checking the divorce rate every month, and the data does not lie. Let me tell you this thing. You will see January 26 will see huge divorce rate increase exponentially, because of the planetary positions are there. Energy equations are like that. So I'll complete my answer to Monica's question. Both the parties have to learn all these things. Okay, that is the answer. Vinayji is saying in scriptures, Rishi Durvasa was ready to curse if not happening according to his wishes. Well, those rishis had extraordinary powers. They were very wise. Where the cursing was required, only they curse. They don't curse unnecessarily. Their curse is also to teach a lesson. Misbehavior is cursed. That is the punishment. If you behave wrongly with a high PUF person, and this is even true today also, anybody who is extremely high PUF is known as a rishi. That's the lesson of the day. I'll go into the detail of it. If you misbehave with a high PUF person, you are at a great risk. Why? Because the high PUF person, if says something, it becomes true. And if he curses you, the curse also becomes true. So never to misbehave with a high PUF person. You are at high risk. Karma building will be proportional to the ratio of your PVF. It's not linear, it's exponential. So Rishi Durvasa was another person. All the rishis had the power to give curse. Let me tell you, most of the people on planet Earth today do not have the power to give curse. Why? Everybody is vibrating so low. Low frequency, nothing happens. Your curse has got no power. Okay. Your blessing also has no power. The curse and the blessings and all work from the high PVF only. Tushar Samant is asking, can sound healing be used for energy vampires? Yes, Tushar. December camp itself, I'm ready for all that. So we'll be doing this. Usha is asking how to get the other person on board if they don't live with you. Get them to the classes. Send the free link of Thursday Satsang. At least some beginning will happen. Okay. That's why free classes are there. No, Thursday Satsangs are for that only. So that you can get anybody, your friends, or especially those who are bothering you. Send them the free link. Let them join. Let them listen. Some understanding will happen. Some improvement will start happening. And if they join the class, major improvements will happen. All right. So today's lesson. Let me share today's lesson. Today's lesson is lesson number 11. This is the last lesson in this series, and then the new series will start. So lesson number 11 says your knowledge, skills, attitudes, strategies, talents, gifts are important. But PVF is the key to your success and happiness. Learn all the secrets of PVF and make your life successful. Okay. So see, for success, we should have the knowledge of any particular line that you are into. So, if you're a professor of physics, definitely you must have the knowledge of physics, otherwise, you can't become a professor. So, that is understood. But as a professor, you must have the skills of communication, skills of public speaking, so that you can teach better. Teaching skills, communication skills, public speaking skills. That will make you a better teacher. That is skill based. Okay. Third thing, your attitudes will matter. What is your attitude towards your students as a professor? That will matter a lot. Your attitude towards life, your attitude towards people, your attitude towards growth, your attitude towards your time management. See, one of the thing recently I have noticed is a lot of people I have seen, they drop out from the meetings the moment the time wastage starts by some people, typically energy vampires, They are unaware of the other people's time and they waste their time by talking nonsense. And many people simply drop out from the online meetings. Even offline meeting, I have seen people simply go away. People are becoming extremely sensitive to the time management aspect. And that is very much true because nobody has time. So one has to be extremely effective as far as the time management is concerned and use the time wisely, never to misuse the times of others. Because everybody's time is important. So that nonsensical vomiting is the most irritating aspect. Wastage of time, wastage of energy, and it reduces the PVF. Okay. So knowledge is important, skills are important, attitudes are important. For your life, strategies are important. Typically in business strategies are very, very important for your business growth. So strategic knowledge has to be there, strategic thinking has to be there, the mindset has to be there. People who think strategically, they go up the corporate ladder faster. So your strategies have to be right. That's a subject to be learned. I spent 2.5 years learning. from West Germany, my post graduation into harmonious strategies. Okay, 2.5 years I was learning that subject. Very important for material success. You also have your talents. Some are inborn, some are practiced and tried and tested, and some gifts, godly gifts that you have got. See, for example, this vibrational communication, I have been gifted. I don't think I did anything very specific consciously or got trained by anybody. No, nobody has trained me for that. Vibrational communication is kind of a gift that I got from the God. So it is not even a skill or a talent, it's purely a gift. Okay. And through this gift, more than 10,000 people got benefited. Akashic record reading is all vibrational communication. All that is important for success. That's what the sentence says. But what is most important is none of this. Your PVF, your personal energetic vibrational frequency plays the highest role in your success, which was unknown to the world. This is my own research. Okay, people thought that it is because of the skills that you are earning money. It is true, corporate world pays you for your skill set. See your resume also, you are highlighting your skill set. And people are looking for particular skill set person. So if it matches, you get the job and your company pays you for your skill set. No doubt about that. But are you using only the skills? I don't think so. People who are better at attitudes, they grow faster. Those who are having better EQ, means emotional quotient, they understand people's emotions, they are self-aware, they are better managers, they are better corporate leaders. We all understand that, right? People who understand the strategies better, they go up the ladder faster. We understand this. But we don't understand, or the what world doesn't understand, or what has still not entered the management education is the aspect of vibrational communication, the aspect of loving assertiveness, the aspect of PVM, personal energetic vibrational frequency. Okay. So it is measurable. So December camp day one will be measuring the PVF for everybody, all the participants. In last day we'll measure. So we'll see the camp performance, how much improvement is doing. Very measurable database decision making. Because a lot of people take emotional decisions, and that is where they go wrong. Your feelings, your emotions are not the true measures. Can be quite tricky things. So it is better to be scientific than to go by your feelings and emotions, which can be quite wrong at times. Because your feelings and emotions are formed based on your biasing, based on your conditionings, based on your perception, which is mostly colored by your conditionings. So feelings and emotions are not true in that sense. They're not honest in that sense. They're always biased. So people who make the decisions of their life based on these wrong perceptions, they really mess up their life. They miss out the best of the best in their life. So, so much of scientific research has happened onto this thing. But you see, most of the people are not aware of that science. So 2026, I want to bring in the science big way into this very fundamental aspect of life, and that's how the life will change. Otherwise, even best of the best people with all the great intentions of improving spiritually and all are still messing up their life. So, what is PVF? The full form of PVF is personal energetic vibrational frequency. Dr. David Hawkins was a scientist in USA, and his institute is still there. He left his body in 2012, around that time. So he's no more, but he has written quite a few books. His entire lifetime research is on this subject, and he created what is known as the logarithmic scale of consciousness. Okay. I hope if you have seen it, if you have not seen it, then I will show it to you what is the logarithmic scale of consciousness. That is the contribution of Dr. David Hawkins to the whole world. And I love that man, the scientist for this. See, this what you see on the screen is called the logarithmic scale of consciousness. So it starts, every emotion has got some number. So that is the scale. The shame is 20, guilt 30, apathy 50, grief 75, fear is 100, desire is 125, anger is 150, pride 175, courage is 200, and neutrality is 250. So anything below neutrality, these are all considered as the negative emotions. And anything which is above. So willingness is 310, acceptance 350, reasoning 400, love 500, joy or unconditional love is 540, peace is 600, and 700 plus is enlightenment. This is known as the Dr. David Hawkins scale or the logarithmic scale of consciousness. So almost 30-40 years spent by that gentleman to create the scale, and now this is worldwide accepted. Minor corrections will happen in the future because he stopped at 700. So it can go up to 1500, 2000 also. There's no upper limit. As the human beings grow in consciousness, the number will go higher up. But there are not many yogis or enlightened masters available for the checking. So more or less the scale has stopped at 700. But there are lots of frequencies and the further research is happening. So in future, this scale will improve for 700 plus data. Up to 700 is pretty good. Nicely done. Okay. A lot of good research has gone into these things. So first of all, we must understand what is my PVF, what is our own PVF. Once you learn, once you measure, you understand where you are stuck, why you are not growing beyond certain point, what is pulling you down to a certain bracket only. See, unless the measurement is there, most of the people do not become even aware of it. So science is good. Science is all about quantification. The quantification has to happen. So once the quantification happens, improvement can happen. Again, you do the quantification, you will know how much you have improved. This scientific aspect has to be brought in into spirituality for the genuine human growth. Otherwise, it's all stories and feelings and what sort of all nonsensical things. Nobody has any data of human evolution. Human evolution has to come into the scientific arena with a lot of data. Okay, so I'm working on this data, how the human evolution happens. If you can do the measurement and then the improvement is there, and again the measurement is there, it will prove that you are improving. Otherwise, there is no, it's just a feeling, the vague feeling that I'm improving. Whether you are genuinely improving or not, nobody knows. So in 1999, Daniel Goleman brought in this aspect of emotional intelligence, and there are people who develop the scales to measure your emotions, emotional intelligence. And that is how the emotional quotient was formed. So since 1999, there are lots of instruments available, psychological tick marking instruments by which we measure the emotional quotient. Now those things have become very standard in the corporate world also. EQ measurements are quite normal, but PVF measurements, they are not normal. Let me tell you, PVF plays a far bigger role in your success than just the EQ. After EQ comes SQ, spiritual quotient. Spiritual quotient measurement also needs to be done. And then PVF measurements have to be done. So that is how the human evolution is happening, and the measurements have to happen and the things have to improve. All right. So in the coming days, lot more new things coming in. Next 2 Thursdays, we will be in ashram. Camp is starting. So next 2 Thursdays, there will be no Thursday satsang meeting because we'll be in the camp. And We'll be now meeting only in January 2026. So the new meeting, whenever is there, you'll get the link on the group. But I have given you enough thought for you to ponder over and enter the new year with a lot of enthusiasm and joy. We'll do the measurements and you'll understand where exactly you stand. I have got lots of skills now. Okay. Over a period of time, I have become kind of improving myself, becoming expert on making the skills. And skills are working. Okay. So a lot of improvements are also happening in the skills. Lots of things what we think are non-measurable are measurable. Only thing is we don't know the science. Okay. So recently, about few months back only, I designed this scale of how to measure the PVF and tested for a lot of people. 200, 300 people have already checked, tested by now. Data is very good. A lot of corrections have happened. Improved version we'll be seeing in the December camp. All right, let me see the questions. Couple of questions are there. I'll answer and then we'll stop. Okay, Usha is asking how to get the other person on board. I'll already answer. Send the link to that person. Okay, Ellen is asking, Guruji, when one's PVF is high, then 499, does this mean that person also processes their negative emotions faster, better, more completely? Negative emotions will always tide you down to the lower frequencies, below 250. So up to 499, if you understand the reason, that's also good to process your emotion. Then you are more of a rational person, less affected by the emotions. But if you enter 500 plus, definitely your PVF is high and you are now capable of bringing in that loving assertive communication. Naturally, your processing power of emotions will be much better and you will have lesser anger bouts, lesser depression, and most of the time you'll be able to keep yourself at a higher level. But you see, the fact is, morning you had your breakfast, you had your cup of tea or coffee, and you are feeling very high. At that moment, if you measure, your PVF will be high. Say, suppose your PVF is 600. Okay. On the way, you met an energy vampire and you talk to that person for 5 minutes. If I measure your PVF, after that, it will be about 100. So where are those 500 units lost? 500 units are taken away by the energy vampire. Unknowingly, this is happening every day to all of us because energy vampires are all around us. They are doing it. Knowingly, unknowingly, they are all doing it. Okay. We are also doing it. Sometimes we are the energy vampires. We suck away the energy of other people unknowingly. So this phenomenon is all unconsciously it's happening. That's why the witnessing power, becoming aware of the thoughts, how the emotions are arising within you, how the thoughts and emotions are connected, why that negativity is coming out in your vocal tone, why the irritating expressions on the face. All that awareness is required to make us understand how the positive communication works. So if somebody is higher than 499, yes, the emotional processing power does increase. Ellen, it's the right understanding. Tushar is asking, Guruji, is consciousness a fine-tuned or improved form of energy? So no, it's not. It's the one. Shiva Shakti Aikya Rupini. That is one of the word in Lalita Sahasranam. Shiva is consciousness. Shakti is energy. Shiva Shakti Aikya Rupini means it's one and the same. They can't stay separately. They stay together. So Tushar's question is what? Guruji's consciousness a fine-tuned or improved form of energy? No, it is the same, not improved. Aikya Rupini. Shiva Shakti Aikya Rupini. Consciousness and energy are one. They stay together. Vinaya is asking, Happy New Year, Guruji, asking for blessings for everyone, Guruji, to have a beautiful year forward. Thank you, Vinaya. Have a wonderful camp. Thank you, Ellen. All right, so thank you very much, my dear friends.
Thank you, Guruji.
All the very good New Year too. Enjoy your Christmas, the holiday season. Learn Focus on your own improvements. That's the only way we can be little more better human beings. Become aware of your voice tone, your facial expressions, your violence or non-violence or love, whatever is there in your communication. Try to cultivate that awareness. Okay. And that is the beginning of the journey of 2026. Lot more things are coming in, lot more things will be learning, but be ready for that. Have the attitude of learning, manage your time well so that you can give some time to your learning. Okay. And that's the only way to grow. There is no other way to grow. Thank you very much. God bless you.